Hello, this is Eileen, the environmental educator, and in this video, we're going to talk about something that just made headlines. And a federal judge rules in favor of shutting down Southeast Alaska troll salmon fishery. It wasn't that direct, but it happened indirectly. To protect the orcas, a federal judge orders the closure of iconic Southeast Alaskan troll fishery. And it's not just the fishery. Here's another headline. This was covered a bunch of places, especially up there in Alaska. It's not just the fishery. It's right here. It says it's Chinook salmon fishery is closed by the court. Right here they say it's the king salmon season. So up here in Alaska, the fishermen right here, it says support some 1,500 fishermen. Other articles say about 900, but it's not just the fishermen. This contributes $30 million to the economy, and it's the fishermen. It's the people that put fuel in these boats. It's the people that make the equipment these people use and maintain it. It's the processing plants that process this fish after it's been caught. So you can be sure there's going to be some appeals here. So a lot of these articles say the same thing. U.S. District Court Judge Richard A. Jones ruled on Tuesday, which concluded that closing multi-million-dollar fishery would provide fish for the orcas. So that's important because this article here, alaskapublic.org, says that there are 73 whales remaining in the southern resident orca population. And this other article, Alaska News Source, it says that the whale population in southeast Alaska and Puget Sound near Seattle now number between 70 and 80. So that 70, is right in this ballpark here. So for 70 to 80 orcas, some 900 permit holders to harvest of about 200,000 salmon each year are going to be deeply affected and their families. So, these are the boats, maybe the permit holders, and then they have another worker or two on board, which equals the 1,500 fishermen. So, this is going to have a major impact on these people's lives. And right here, it says that it's a $30 million industry that employs hundreds. So let's just take a look at some of these articles. They really say a lot of the same thing, and then maybe something a little different in each one of them. Another research group, the McKinley Research Group in Anchorage, and estimated the economic impact of that fishery at about 85 million. And Alaska's congressional delegation condemned the judge's decision, labeling it disastrous for Southeast Alaska small boat troll fishermen and the regional economy. And the governor of Alaska said that they're going to ask that the ruling be set aside while an appeals plays out. It said the department will immediately notify the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals that an appeal is pending, and the Attorney General, Treg Taylor, called the ruling a radical step, and that said that we will continue to pursue every available avenue in defense of Alaska's fishery. We understand the critical importance of this fishery to the affected fishermen and the communities across Southeast. And this article says that the order from Jones, the judge, did not explicitly call for the closing of the summer Chinook fishery. Instead, it vacates a key federal authorization that allowed the state of Alaska to open the fishery without violating the Endangered Species Act. So, yeah, it all comes out to the same, equal to these fishermen are out of business. And this season, the Chinook harvest can generate as much as 40% of the troller's annual income. So the summer troll fishery runs from July through September, and now they're going to be out 40% of their income. And the National Marine Fishery Service, which was named as a primary defendant in the case, said the agency is still reviewing the order. So, they will figure out what they're going to do once they assess all of their options. And these trawlers, they typically fish alone or with a single deckhand on their boat in most living communities across southeast Alaska. Their harvest also helps sustain processing plants and processing jobs around the region. Unlike net fishermen, trawlers catch salmon one at a time on individual hooks. Careful treatment and icing keeps the fish fresh and allows troll caught salmon to sell at higher market price. The fillets are shipped around the country and can fetch $40 a pound at high-end grocery stores. So this is affecting rich people's dinner tables. And the orcas' decline isn't just because of, the whole argument for this is that they don't have food to eat, but their decline is driven by other factors like industrial pollution, habitat destruction, and ship traffic, particularly in Puget Sound near Seattle, where whales spend much of their time. And there's an organization called Salmon State, and they said, as wild salmon focused environmental organization, Salmon State condemns the Wild Fish Conservancy's misguided, irresponsible litigation, and that's who brought the litigation, which in all probability won't save a single endangered killer whale, but will ruin the livelihood of thousands of Southeast Alaska's most committed long-term conservationists and wild salmon allies. Said the Salmon State Executive Director Tim Bristol. He said this is an abuse of the Endangered Species Act by out-of-touch ideological serial litigants. So that's interesting wording. So this article, OPB, it says that the people that are affected are the people who work on the boats, the people that process the fish, or even in support businesses such as the fuel stations that I said and the grocery stores in Southeast Alaska. They're all waiting to see if the season will occur or if they must find other work elsewhere. There's so much stress in the lives of every family that relies on this industry. They're in a real quandary until they know whether they, can have a fishery. So their livelihood has just been, pulled out from underneath them. And this article says that the king salmon are the largest and priciest of the Pacific salmon species, and the Southeast Alaskan troll fishery provides them to restaurants and grocery stores around the world. They also make up the bulk of the diet for the endangered orcas in the waters of the Salish Sea between Washington State and Canada. Due to overfishing, dams, development, and pollution, Chinook runs in the Northwest are at a small fraction of their historical abundance, and the local orca population has suffered in turn. Just 73 whales remain, and breeding is a severe problem, and scientists are warning of an extinction. So the bottom line right now is a lot of people out there in Southeast Alaska, a lot of families are going to be out of a good portion of their income, and it's going to affect communities all over the southeast portion of the state. And It's all to protect 70 to 80 orcas. So stay tuned, people.